All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Awesemo.com Live Before Lock Show. It's Friday, the last day of the week. We have 14 games going on, some weather concerns, all of the not fun stuff, but also the fun stuff that you get from the wonderful world of DFS. I'm Chris Spags, joined by my pal, the baseball savant Jake Hari. Jake, how's it going?
It's going well besides this weather. Yeah, I'm excited to play this. I hope the games all play cleanly, or at least most of them. Which I know is a tough ask, but if Mother Nature could do that for us, that would be nice. I feel pretty good about this slate. What about you?
I feel like I've taken a couple of pivots already because of the weather. We've talked about this before, but when we're on the live stream, I'm usually not doing too many lineups and trying to kind of figure out the angle on the day already in advance. And so I was out on the Cleveland game for a while. Then I saw the weather completely changed over. Now the weather looks good to go, so I have much less Cleveland than I originally anticipated. So it's all kind of a mess, but it's an interesting slate. What are you doing at pitcher? We got a couple big dogs up there, priced highly. You are a known pitcher guy. You're trying to turn your luck around this week, Jake. What are you doing?
Yeah. So all right. So I wasn't planning on this because I actually like the top two guys, Scherzer and Carrasco, a ton, but I'm just seeing some bats that I think are going to be under-owned that are kind of expensive, and just like Fantasy Cruncher is not giving me Scherzer and Carrasco. So I've been trying to mess around the last hour trying to get more of them in there, but right now I'm underweight on both those guys. I'm getting a lot of Brian Johnson, which I expected. I like Brian Johnson against the Rays. Robbie Ray, I'm about even with the field, which is whatever. I'm comfortable with that. I have a lot of Junis and Shields, and I pretty much faded the White Sox-Royals game. So that's probably a pretty big stand that I'm taking. I mean, you never know until the slate actually locks, but I'm assuming that game is pretty heavy for bats. I know we expect it to be. And then just like a smattering of Lynn, Lucchesi, Freeland, Newcomb, like all guys that are like under 10% for me.
So you mentioned just real fast, it kind of blew by the Kansas City White Sox thing. So I like Junis tonight. I didn't play a ton of him, but as a Ray pivot, he makes sense on DraftKings to me. Getting a ton of strikeouts lately, been pretty good his last couple outings, and obviously going against a White Sox team who will strike out, whether you want them to or not, they will strike out. The team total's not great, but I think it's come down a little throughout the day too. I don't know. I think Junis is an interesting play tonight. That's probably a little overlooked. His ownership is only, I think, 10% last that we had.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a little bit overlooked as well. You know, Junis, I mean, not like he's some great pitcher or anything, not like the industry's stupid for not playing him, but, he can strike out righties, and he's going to get 3 righties right in the middle of that order, 5 righties total. Moncada has been a disaster as of late, just striking out like 50% of the time. And, I could just see a path where he gets like 6, 7, maybe 8 strikeouts in 5 or 6 innings like he's done in his last couple starts. So if he gives me anything close to what he's had the last couple, which I think is pretty doable against this White Sox team, then I'll be super happy. And that's also good leverage off the White Sox bats.
Yeah, the White Sox bats are picking up a fair amount of ownership, and I agree. I think, granted, I started making the point in the first place, so I guess I'm agreeing with myself technically. But Junis, I just think is a good play tonight. Whether you play him with Ray or as a pivot to Ray, I think he's an interesting play at that mid-price range. How about the super cheap guys? I know Josh was at least talked a lot about Casey Kelly, whether liked him or not, I think unclear. But Casey Kelly now back in the mix. I feel like during the day I kind of pivoted off him because the weather looked bad. Now the weather looks less bad. His team total still looks pretty bad, but what are you doing with super cheap Casey Kelly? Yeah,
I'm not playing him. I just too much uncertainty. I think he'll get some ownership just because he's 4K. So I don't like just playing pitchers just because of their price. I mean, I know it's necessary a lot of the time, but I'm on the red stack. They're actually one of my top stacks. So I'm just on the other side of that, hoping Kelly is pretty highly owned.
Yeah, I mean, we have Kelly being very lowly owned right now, but he is super cheap, so that I think he'll certainly draw some ownership just to make it work. I have a little bit of him tonight, but mostly because of Josh's enthusiasm. I thought that was enough, and he's been so unenthusiastic about the many Padres pitchers who have had varying degrees of success. Jacob Nix not on the good side of history yesterday. Jacob Nix, very painful. I had one lineup that had 170 with a -11 from Jacob Nix.
Aren't you glad that you don't have to do the show today with Josh?
I mean, it doesn't
just because
matter.
of Nix.
Like, it's just, you make these picks. You got to make the best pick you can. The hope for it. For Josh, he does this whole like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I made it's just data. It's just data. But like for me, like I get invested in the picks, so when they suck, it sucks. But just move forward. Got new picks today. Casey Kelly now.
So you're on Kelly?
A little bit. I think as a 4K guy, I think there's some hope for him. I think his swing rate, his chase rate, kind of in line with a guy who can have an okay day. Obviously not a big sample size in the majors, but like Josh said too, his minor league numbers have been okay. So I'm not opposed to him. I just wish the team total were better. 4.9 is pretty high.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 4.9's high, but I'm playing Junis for twice the price basically, and against a 4.7 total. So I don't pay attention to totals that much. I mean, it's a good reference point for sure. You want to see where Vegas is at, especially if it's something you don't expect. But yeah, I'm really liking the Reds stack. So I think Kelly's going to be a little higher than what people expect. I don't think he'll get over like 10%, but even then, that's pretty decent leverage on a 14-game slate. For some Reds backs that I really, really like, Suarez, Jeanette. I didn't even see Billy Hamilton leading off. Going to have to change his projection here. I thought he was batting 9th. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, also the Padres lineup's out now. I don't know if that came out after we started, but
I think Reyes started. Yeah.
Okay, so that's one where I am currently swapping because I have a couple of going against Robbie Ray because Robbie Ray, I've said it many times. I think every time Robbie Ray has been on a slate, but to me he is the Kenny Powers of MLB DFS, where he'll either strike him out or he'll get hit hard, and I think he also kind of looks the part. So all those things fit for me. So I would like to have at least one or two Padres stacks.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Just like you said, gives up a lot of hard hits, and you've got some righties in there with power. So, no Franmil Reyes, that kind of sucks. But Villanueva, Hunter Renfroe, Myers, those guys are all candidates for hard hits and home runs against Robbie Ray. So even though I have a bunch of Ray, I certainly understand the leverage stack against him when he's going to be that highly owned.
Yeah, I wish they would have gone a little more. Their projected lineup was a little more righty-centric, which would have been nice. But, and I think it also worked out pretty well from an actual structural standpoint. So the guys they have in there now, not quite as clean, but still worthwhile. Perella, too, being up on the top of the order, very cheap. If you want to pivot against Robbie Ray, that is a guy who I would include. Let's see. What about stack-wise? Which stacks do you have the most of so far?
Yeah, so I mentioned Cincinnati. So you guys aren't going to like this, but Nationals, Texas, some Colorado. We talked about earlier. I think both Josh and I liked some low-owned Colorado stacks against, what's his name, Newcomb, and then Dodgers, just by default, they come up so high in my projections. And then Indians. Didn't get as many Cleveland bats as I would like, but they're my 6th highest owned stack.
I like Cleveland a lot. I mean, we kind of talked a little bit about my struggles there, getting them into the lineup, getting them out with the weather, trying to get them back in now. The ones that I have the most of today are the Angels and Twins, though. The Angels kind of underperformed last night, which is a bit of a downer. They still got to Hurtado, but not quite as much as you would have wanted to see. Cole Calhoun, again, expect to be very chalky tonight, but I think you can kind of stack him in a couple different ways. People in the chat have been touting Rene Rivera tonight. Very good price for a guy who's been a very good hitter when he actually gets plate appearances. So I do like him too. And the Twins, the Twins to me pop up a lot. I think they have a good positional flow with the guys they have in their lineup. Sano, Forsythe has been killing it lately. I know you and Josh went back and forth about Forsythe, but he is currently very good. So that's what I care about.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Forsythe's very good, but it's not going to matter that much. I'm not main stacking the Twins, and I'm actually rolling out 5-mans tonight, so should be interesting. I don't know, just trying something new and trying to, without like switching projections for everyone, just trying to get a different lineup construction. Maybe that's been part of why I've been struggling lately, but we'll see. Hopefully one of my 6 main stacks goes nuts.
Yeah, the Twins I like a lot because Boyd pretty bad versus righties, noticeable splits there. I think it might be better as a mini stack just because the home run rate's not crazy. Boyd doesn't really get super duper dinged up. But that game went off yesterday, and I was actually watching that game too. And that Detroit Minnesota game was fun if you like fantasy sports, not good baseball. Major weather concerns now on Scherzer. Are you what? Can people spell Scherzer correctly? Put the C in there, guys. Give man some respect. C-S-C-H.
What's your source for major weather concerns? Like just that pitching might be bad?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that one
or the game in general. Up. Yeah, the last I heard was that game was going to be okay. Whatever. I mean, I'm still playing the Bats. The Nats are my top stack once again.
You love the Nats. You love the ice Nats.
I'm cashing my Nats tickets at some point. And if not tonight, then tomorrow, because they have another good matchup tomorrow. It's just, this is so annoying. I don't want to be stacking them, trust me. But it's really hard to argue with like lefty power against Straley.
Yeah, I mean, but his home run rate versus he's only 3.2. It's not that much above league average. I don't know. Just to give you a reason to not play Washington. Washington, to me, is not graded out super well. I mean, they haven't had the best pitching matchups either the last few days. At least, like, best pitching matchups on the slate, rather. So that kind of usually makes me go away from them. But I think it's just Bryce. Like, Bryce is the only one. You just want to one-off him and just kind of let the other guys get back in the order.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing about the one-off, though, if you think that game might have a chance at postponing it, I either kind of want to just full stack and go balls to the walls, hope it plays, and it's good hitting weather if there's not a ton of rain, or even if there's light rain, it's still going to be fine to hit in. But like one-offs, like if for some reason that game gets postponed, and you've got that 1-0 sitting in your lineup and you didn't even get at bats, and that's just like the most tilting thing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And also, we will give our home run picks in 10 minutes. If you missed the NFL video today, Josh did give his home run pick there, so I'll share that with you guys. You did. I got it real fast, but it isn't a weather concern game, so, whatever. I'm still going to troll him anyway, because it makes sense in the game that he picked, but we'll find out. People have asked about Freddie Peralta. How do you feel about Freddie Peralta tonight on the slate?
I'm not really on him. I think he's kind of been figured out. It's not like he has a great fastball or really any great pitches. So he just took the lead by storm. I think he had like 13 strikeouts in Coors or something, just ridiculous in his first start. But he's kind of been figured out ever since then. So I'm not on him. Not against the Cardinals team that looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, the Cardinals have been pretty hot lately. I don't mind Peralta. I wouldn't have a ton of him, but I think he still has a strikeout upside, and not that the Cardinals have kind of plugged a lot of their holes and been hitting better recently. So it's not a spot I'm trying to attack, but I could definitely see wanting to have a little bit of him. I think Peralta's a little better than I think you do. And also particularly good versus righties, and you'll be going against a bunch of them.
Oh, no, I think Peralta is like a pretty decent pitcher, but just as far as this matchup and what people are seeing, like 30% K rate or whatever that translates to, K per 9, and like the lowish total for the Cardinals and a lot of righties, and I think they're going to fire him up, which I'm just not with tonight.
Why are people on Robbie Ray? He comes nowhere close to 30 DK point upside. I don't think that's true, but he doesn't need to get 30.
No, you need if he gets 15, depending on what some of these other mid-tier pitchers do, you may be fine at 15, but he's, I think, probably got the best chance at 20 points from any of this mid-tier, like Peralta included, Jackson, Boyd, just Junis. I like Junis, but I think Robbie Ray has a better chance at 20 points.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with that. I think Junis can get you exactly what Robbie Ray is going to give you, but I think that Robbie Ray is just a more proven commodity going against a worse team. I mean, I think that all makes sense to me. But that ownership, though, certainly no logic, nothing wrong with the logic in fading him.
Yeah, I mean, if you like him, play some Padres bats against him, because he's going to be so owned. You're assuming someone's getting to him, so get a Padres one-off or whatever, a mini stack in there if you don't like Ray.
Yeah, I think if you had to pick a Padres one-off, which one would you go with?
It's really tough. It's probably Will Myers. But
Villanueva really good versus lefties. That sneaky play.
That was my second guess, or that was my second guy.
Yeah, 1% ownership projected for Villanueva, and he socks home runs. So
yes, he does.
Let's see. I don't know what they're saying. Cleveland is looking terrible.
Really?
Cleveland. I think the weather's been fine. It looks like everything that I check is green now, for the most part. Green and yellow, but still better than it was before.
I don't know. I didn't end up with as much Cleveland as I wanted to, anyways. So if that game stays pretty quiet, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, still green and yellow on Moto blinders too.
Yeah,
mostly green though. But radar looks rough. Hey, look. But if this time I'm writing out, this is my last slate probably for like a week. So I'm going to be off next week. We've discussed a few times. But yeah, like I'm trying to go, but I don't want this weather to fuck me too much. Not in the mood for that.
I'll still be here, guys. Don't worry. You'll still have the dong picks.
Still got the baseball savant.
Yeah, you can.
Hopefully, you guys don't get any home run picks right. I might still have to. Well, no, because I'm not going to be preparing sheets. But I don't want to fall behind because I'm just not here. That's tough.
Well, I mean, I'm for sure getting at least a handful next week. So, handful of dongs.
Kevin Mevin Toth has Cleveland okay for bats, but dicier for starting pitchers. I've got, of course, switches some Carrasco. That's helpful stuff.
I mean, I don't know. It all looks dicey. It all looks risky. I wouldn't be surprised if any of these games didn't play. So,
fade Scherzer, fade Carrasco, play Brian Johnson, play guys who are in safe weather.
Did I mention Kyle Gibson? I have a bunch of Kyle Gibson. So
I told you I was watching the Twins game yesterday, and Kyle Gibson had an uncomfortably long segment. Like he was on for like an entire inning talking because they were promoting
just rallying. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was just there, just chatting away, and I was like, "This is so much Kyle Gibson time. Like, I feel like I know so much about him."
Just know his life story.
Yeah, I wasn't into the Kyle Gibson experience. He was like a nice guy, but it was just like a long time to spend with a guy who wasn't super duper interesting.
Yeah, not an electric personality there. They don't really make him that way here in Minneapolis.
But he is doing an event for the Boys and Girls Club. $350 a head. You get to be served, waited on by the players and stuff, and it's a whole thing. So go do that for Kyle Gibson.
Is it okay to go Gibson and Goodrum as a one-off? No, don't wait. Is there like a Gibson on Detroit that I missed? I don't have Detroit stacks. I'm not playing bats against Kyle Gibson. I'm playing a lot of Gibson, so I wouldn't play a guy on a 14-game slate. I mean, unless it's like a cash lineup or something, but I still wouldn't play guys against my pitcher on a 14-gamer.
Yeah, no, there's too many. Like, yeah, a 4-gamer and under, sure. But a 14-gamer, that's getting way too cute. There's no reason to lose that 2 points or whatever for no reason.
Yeah.
Why is everyone saying Gibson? I'm not saying Gibson, to be clear. I just watched him on TV.
I'm saying Gibson, so I'll own that one. I'm a little worried about him, but I'm well over the field. So
I certainly lose a little bit of risk after a night like the Robbie Erlin nights. Like I won't get spooked off, but I definitely went a little bit more. I mean, not that Jacob Junis is particularly safe, but I definitely went a little safer tonight after the Jacob Nix experience. That was a kick in the fucking nards. So Kyle Gibson would count in that criteria. I don't trust you, Kyle Gibson, no matter how sweet of a boy you seem on local baseball telecast. Sean B loves calling everything and then claiming credit for it.
Well, I mean, when you throw out 20 takes, you're going to be right.
Yeah, like...
That's just like us. I guess that's kind of what we're doing too. So actually, don't listen to that. I'm always right.
No, yeah. I mean, as long as you own the failures and the successes equally, that's all I can say.
I think we've done it. Yeah, I think we've done a good job.
Like tattoos. Chris, enjoy your vacation. Thanks, Zach Jameson. I appreciate you. You guys like the Colorado bats again tonight? I do not, but Jake, you do a little bit?
I do a little bit, yeah. This is going to be super low owned. You get Arenado, Story. Newcomb's a lefty that I kind of respect, but it's decent hitting weather, and just no one's going to be on Arenado, Story, LeMahieu, Blackman even for 4,400 too. So no one plays his team outside of Coors, and I like them against lefties in Coors and outside of Coors.
Somebody asked about Kyle Freeland before as a Ray pivot, I think. And I actually want to talk about that because I think Freeland's an interesting pivot. He's been pretty good lately. I don't love going against the Braves. I don't love the team total against him. But he's been pretty good lately. I don't think it's Homer Bailey good. I think he's been like actually pretty good.
I'm reading the chat. What'd you say?
Oh, Kyle Freeland.
Oh, Kyle Freeland.
Somebody was asked about before. How do you feel about him as a potential Ray pivot?
Yeah, I wish there was more lefties. Like, even Freeman and Markakis can hit lefties. So Freeland is really good against lefties. So that's why it's just kind of a wash for me on both sides of Freeland versus the Atlanta bats.
Okay. Yeah, like I don't love going against a relatively hot Atlanta team. But I do like Freeland's recent performances lately, and and I think as a Ray pivot, he is a guy who I would put in that criteria. Let's see who was.
Dude, this chat just gets me. Is he Luke Weaver good though? God, that's an excellent troll. I love that. Luke Weaver sucks.
Sean B mentioning Jack Flaherty. How do you feel about Jack Flaherty tonight? He's a guy who I kind of have a fair amount of tonight.
I don't have Flaherty. I don't think I can check, but I don't even think I have a single share of him. No, I don't have Flaherty. Just too expensive against the Brewers. Balanced lineup. They rolled out like just the nut lineup. Again, it's just like there's so many pitchers that I kind of like, but they're overpriced on this slate. I don't know. Some of these guys are going to have 20, 25 points, and I don't think Flaherty's going to be one of them. But like, would you be shocked if anyone in this 8 to 10K range got 25 or got blown up?
No. I think they do share that all in common.
Braun out? What do you mean? Was he supposed to be in?
I don't think so. I mean, he was been out all day. He was got an injury. I think he's on the 10-day DL now.
Braun's he's been hurt. He's been in and out of the lineup all year. Forsythe or Fletcher? That's Fletcher for me. Oh, we're not answering 1v1s. Never mind.
No, either ors. Oh yeah, but let's do home run picks because we do have that going. See, now I don't know. These people, this fucking weather talk is throwing me for a loop. Josh's pick, by the way, on the home run or on the NFL defense video was Michael Brantley, so that is going to stay as his pick.
The team with the highest total. Nice.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to stick with that and troll his pick, even though the people are talking weather. I still don't see the weather issues that you guys are talking about. I'm going Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, someone just said it in chat. Give me Nolan Arenado against the lefty.
It is a good matchup for him, but he's not in Coors. He's out of the safety of Coors.
Oh, what's going on with the Nationals game? People are saying.
Hold on. You can feel that one. If you want to do some radar searching, we can do that.
There was one. Oh, someone asked if I was playing Hamels. I'm not playing Hamels. That's one where. So I wrote him up at Spotlight Pitchers. I feel like if that game was perfect, I would have a bunch of him and I would have less Gibson. But I kind of started to like Gibson more as the day has gone on, and seeing where that Pittsburgh weather is at, I just don't want to mess with it. So I think him and Gibson are like neck and neck as far as value plays and upside. So I'll just take the guy that doesn't have to worry about the weather, or where I don't have to worry about the weather with.
Immortal Syndicate, Arenado doesn't need Coors though. Yeah, no, you're right. He does.
Although some other guys on his team, maybe.
like Josh's boy Carlos Gonzalez.
Yes, that's exactly what I was speaking of.
Let's see. Red Sox. We haven't talked much about the Red Sox. How are you feeling about them going against Tampa Bay, going against the opener and the bullpen day?
Yeah, didn't end up on them as main stacks. A lot of Mookie Betts, just because he always comes up as a one-off for me. So I have them in a bunch of minis with like Betts, JD, Betts, Benintendi. So they're just fillers for me. They're going to be low-owned. So if that's your team, I just don't know who's coming in for Tampa Bay after either. So it could be a righty, it could be a lefty. I have no idea. So I just didn't mess with that one that much.
Yeah, I have some one-off JD, but I didn't go there much. I think it makes sense. The weather is safe there. Stanek does kind of get beaten up by especially righties in particular, so Betts too would be a good play. Even if he's only in there for 2 innings, they'll both at least get a crack at him. So it's not a bad play, but it is a little bit variable. I just hate going against the Rays. I don't like knowing who they're going to have, or like not knowing rather.
Right.
For a loop.
Yeah, and bullpen. Like even if it's a bad bullpen, they can still mess around with the platoon. Like they can just throw in a lefty against Benintendi, and that's really suboptimal. Or Moreland, same thing.
T. McBee going off the board with Brandon Belt for a dong. Going lefties against DeSclafani has been a profitable route, but he seems like he's sorted out his problems, so that's why I'm not targeting him tonight.
That's a really good pick, yeah. T. McBee, that's not even sneaky. That's just a good pick. Belt is... I think
DeSclafani has turned the corner, if we're being honest. Like, the total's still not great, and they're in Cincinnati, which is a plus hitting park, but I hate DeSclafani, but I do think he might have turned the corner.
So I'm playing DeSclafani just as like a correlation play with all my Reds. So that's where he ends up in a lot of my lineups, or in the majority of my DeSclafani lineups there with red stacks, which is more of a hockey thing, but that's how I'm doing it, because I'm like, where can I put all this pitcher exposure where I don't have 50-something% of a guy I don't really feel good about, and so he ended up in some of my lineups.
Yeah, I just, the Giants, I was thinking about going that way, and then there were weather concerns, and then I kind of looked more at DeSclafani, and I don't know, he's just been really good his last couple outings. Seems like maybe he's figured it out a little bit. I don't think he's going to get as many strikeouts as he got last time. I think he threw like 9 strikeouts last time. But yeah, I think overall that he's just a guy who, I don't know, might be able to handle them well enough, and it's not like the Giants are any great shakes.
Jim Aducey Dong in the chat. Someone asked if I'm drinking. I mean, I'm having a beer, but I'm not like getting turned up or anything. There's another one. Weatherman said that the weather models will fade out of Washington. What does that mean? Does that mean it looks good?
I would assume fading out of Washington would be a positive. I would assume when we're going weather.
Or like we should fade the Nats. I don't know. Dude, I don't know. Like, what are you doing with the weather, Chris?
The only game that I'm really avoiding is the Chicago-Pittsburgh game. That one just sucked. I mean, I did like Trevor Williams a little bit because he kind of fit price-wise with a few lineups I had. But no, just not going there with the weather.
Yeah, that's the only one that so we're on the same page. That's the only one where I'm like fading just because I don't want to deal with, like, I think Hamels is a good play, like I said, but I don't really like hitting from that game. If it rains out, fine. I wasn't going to have like 60% Hamels anyways, and I think Gibson's a similar play, so pretty easy for me to fade.
Let's see. Thoughts on Buehler? That's an interesting guy. He at a weird price point. Pretty good team total on his side, though, and he's had a couple good outings in a row. What are you doing with Walker Buehler?
I'm not on Buehler, which is kind of weird because he's 9,200. He's not someone that I like think is a bad play or anything, but just a bad strikeout matchup, and he's like, the Dodgers don't let their pitchers go deep enough for him to be usable at that price. So, although he did go 103 pitches his last start, I don't know. I'm just not on him. I like Gibson better.
Bikram Kyra apparently just not listening to the thing that we talked about 1 second ago. Just rewind 30 seconds, Bikram. You're fine. We just literally talked about weather like seconds ago. I will say it again. Duvall dong tonight. Duvall has been horrendous lately. He has like a negative 20 WRC plus over his last 2 weeks.
Who?
Adam Duvall.
Duvall. Yeah, I'm just. I mean, I don't love the Braves. Albies I have a little bit, and Acuna, but yeah. Oh, thanks for the heart.
Let's see. Yeah, no, just Duvall to me has been pretty bad since he's been on the Braves pretty much. And I liked him. He's at a pretty good price point on DraftKings today, but just not somewhere I want to go with a guy who is as cold could be for some reason.
Storm's weakening as they head to D.C.
Oh my God, is this guy like KM? We don't need to do Barstool gags in here. It's not the fucking same company. Sorry, I'm muting you. Doing this, excited doing it on like 2 different accounts. Enough.
Let's see. Best shortstop. I don't know. I don't like those questions. LeBlanc today versus the Dodgers. What you think? I am. I'm not on LeBlanc. Just a hellish matchup. If you go individually, if you go by the team level, it looks like a great match because the Dodgers can't hit water falling off of a boat against lefties lately. But I don't like LeBlanc really at all here.
Yeah, no, LeBlanc, I mean, I get the logic going there, but again, we've said it a few times, 14-game slate. It's just there are some guys you just don't need to have on that slate. And, LeBlanc is a guy who's not jumping off the page to me as being you want to play him in a matchup where he can get beat up.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at, too.
Some anonymous weatherman who works for another website said, one more update for Max. Models are confident this will all fade out before reaching Washington. Cautiously optimistic, but want to watch it for another 45 minutes and won't call it safe. So it's not safe for weathermen of other websites, but it is getting there, getting closer.
Yeah. I'm playing Scherzer. I just am. So.
Would you go Barry Bonds or Ken Griffey Jr. on DraftKings?
Are you
have
kidding?
The choice.
It's Barry Bonds literally every single day. Bonds against anyone.
If it's him during that 1 year, but it might be Griffey just because Bonds would get walked 4 times in a game.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm riding the Nationals. I'm playing a bunch of Nationals. Where's a good place to start researching hockey? I think Corsica.hockey is a good place to start. I'll type that in the chat.
Jake, are you still riding the Nationals batch train?
Yeah, I just said yeah.
Oh, is that what you were saying that too? Okay.
Yeah. Bonds. It doesn't matter. He was a Hall of Famer before steroids. Bonds. Let's get that out of the way.
No, just not Bonds because of the walks. I think it's got to be Griffey because at least they'll get a chance to put the ball into play.
Maybe Griffey got walked a fair share too.
He did, but not as intentionally as Bonds was. There was a stretch there where they could have really used the one pitch intentional walk rule back in those days.
K-letter S word. Let's see. Yeah, the Nats do postpone pretty quick. They could screw us. It wouldn't shock me they've done it before, but yeah.
Hopefully we'll find out soon. Hopefully we'll find out before lock if that is the case.
Yeah, I'm playing Washington. I don't care. I think it's too good of a spot, and I hope people get off of it. So, but not the people watching this. I hope you guys stay on it and they score 25 runs.
Who would you replace Hamels with if you don't want to worry about the weather?
Gibson. Let's see. I think there's one other guy in his range that I'm. That Pittsburgh game's already delayed, by the way.
Yeah, that's no good.
Gibson. So Ray is like the obvious chalk there, but Junis. Yeah. So they're definite pivots to Hamels.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they'd postpone such a clear advantage spot with Scherzer. Interesting. Sure.
Well, I mean, they could just start him tomorrow.
Also that. Just do a doubleheader tomorrow. I don't know what their schedule is, though.
Yeah.
Newcomb and Harper, or no, we don't want to do either ors yet. But whatever. Zach Carpenter's a good one. We'll give you one. Newcomb and Harper or Soto and Ray?
Ooh. I don't like Newcomb very much, so that would be Soto and Ray.
Who's the best value at the same price? Diaz, Hamilton, or Posey? I don't know which Diaz.
Is this on FanDuel? I'm assuming it's on FanDuel.
I guess. Yeah. Now I see why Josh doesn't answer those questions.
Yeah, I guess it would be Diaz. Yeah, betting cleanup, but sure.
Thank you, Grain Grippa, Candied Paint Drippa, for watching. We appreciate all of you guys watching on a Friday.
Yeah, thanks for spending time with us. This is fun, these Friday live streams. I'm pretty jealous when I watch these.
it tend to get a little weirder when you're not here, when it's just Josh and me with an open flight plan. Sometimes we get in trouble. Sometimes we get scolded afterwards.
Do you guys get scolded?
One time. Actually, I don't think that was a Friday one. Porn Star Talk might have gotten us in a little bit of a scolding. A light scold.
I don't think I watched that one. I'm pretty sure I would have remembered.
Oh, it was really insightful. The people really responded well, but not allowed to go back to that one.
Okay. As far as Friday shows go, this one's kind of calm. You're welcome? Are we saying no to Scherzer? We are both not, correct? I'm not.
No, I'm with Scherzer.
We're playing Scherzer.
Yeah. I'm not fading Scherzer tonight. I think he's going to get enough in. Everything's been positive enough. I'm a little worried about Carrasco, but also keeping him in too, because why not? Too young.
Do you have a way to get on the Osmo train? Because I need a new logo. Like you want Osmo to be your logo? The Osmo logo? Just go online and download it, I think, right?
Yeah, you could just steal the logo. It's not like we don't jump you in like a gang. Just people do that. It's not. We're not promoting it. You don't get anything free from us. We don't get anything from it, really.
Yeah, if you want to, go ahead.
Ride or die, Richard Kaplan. Also, if you buy a season-long NFL pass on the website for premium members only, get that promo code NFL820, save $20. Get the full season in, then you can use the Osmo logo. That's the only way you're allowed to legally. People may do it illegally, but that's the only way you can legally do it.
You're right. Let's see here. I like this pairing of Chris and Josh. Well, this isn't Chris and Josh, so you either like that pairing better or you think I'm Josh, which is fine. I'll be Josh.
Like, Josh, you got so much more handsome.
Jacob Nick sucks. Logan Forsythe, GOAT. There's
I won so much money last night.
Yeah.
Jacob Nick sucks. Duh, I'm Josh.
Yeah, exactly.
It's back to drinking Zima. No, I'm drinking water. I'm drinking water because I have to go to the gym after this and clean up and shit.
Yeah, you got to get to that gym. When do you guys do live podcasts for NFL when it starts? You want to answer that? You're on the NFL side.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely be doing that. We still don't know the full content plan, but there'll definitely be live before lock shows on Sundays. There will be some sort of strategy videos during the week, sort of lineup review videos, but we don't have the full plan yet, but there will definitely be a ton of video going around. And definitely a lot of live video as well, because that's what we do. We're just a live stream company.
I look forward to consuming it. I'm being serious.
You play NFL, right? Like, what are you two?
Oh, I play NFL. Very, very poorly.
Okay.
But, I mean, I play NFL. It's hard not to. Like, the prize pools are so big. It's just like, you see, whatever, 100K up top for, like, every tournament. And it's like, all right, I'll make some lineups.
Yeah, do you want to do we'll just talk about it on the air. You want to do the video? We're going to do one with Alex and Josh and me the week after I come back to do, like, week one. Do you want to be a part of those, or do you not care?
I'm so bad. I don't even look at matchups or anything, so I'd probably be a bad person to have on.
Fair enough. So no Jake on football, but now we all know. Just Jake, baseball, hockey. I have to do everything. Josh does everything. Josh has to do everything. He doesn't want to do NFL. He has to do NFL.
Sunday Brunch and Crunch stream? Is that the name? Put that one on the back burner.
That's a cute name for it. I like it. I like the Brunch and Crunch.
Yeah.
It's also good for me because, like, it's early, so I could still have brunch on Sunday, but I don't usually because of football.
You can catch me in the chat for that for sure. I'll definitely be in the live stream chat, giving some terrible takes. Host Golden asked very nicely, I assume you guys have done this, like 100 of these already, but can you give a quick think of if Chicago game and Indians game will run? I think, so I guess I don't know for sure, but I'm playing the Indians bats. And then I'm assuming you're talking about the Chicago Cubs game in Pittsburgh. I don't have any exposure to the pitching in that game. Just, like, very limited.
Time they kind of kicked me in the dick and ruined my day.
Tell me about it. I mean, I might need new projections. This is getting out of hand. How much the Nats and the Dodgers are always come up for me. It seems like they have just, like, a sick matchup every single night. Or I need to learn how to evaluate pitchers better. Or it's just a cold streak and I'll start winning eventually.
Could be that. I've been doing pretty okay this week, but I'm still not only doing like 10 to 20 lineups a night. And like the last couple days I've just been doing the big tournament, just doing like 10 to 15 lineups. And that's like not the best strategy, but I keep getting one in like the top 100 to top 250. So I feel good about that, but it definitely also feels like fucking stupid.
Yo, they'll keep you coming back for sure.
Yeah. Home run picks for the day. Josh picked Michael Brantley on the earlier stream. I picked Jose Ramirez to troll him, and Jake, your home run pick was
Nolan Arenado.
Okay, that's right. I did remember that. So there we go. Those are the home run picks closing out the week. It's 0. His BABIP is 154, and he has a negative 28 WRC plus. So Duvall is stone cold as can be.
That seems bad.
Once you get negative numbers on the WRC plus,
yeah,
you are not
usually not the best.
Rankum, LeBlanc, Johnson, Junis, Shields. Junis, Johnson, Shields, LeBlanc. But I'm just not playing LeBlanc, so that's.
I'm probably around the field. We had him at like 5%, right? 5%.
Yeah. So.
It's nothing substantial. He's not going to make or break my night. That's for sure.
He was good his last outing or two, I think, but he's still pretty bad versus lefties, and a lot of the lefties on Toronto are the ones who are the best hitters. So that would spook me off of him if the weather didn't. Good team total though. Excellent.
Favorite shortstop on FanDuel? I like Peraza. I like Trey Turner a ton. So there's a couple.
Cleveland weather issues. Not currently acknowledging them. The gifted.
Yeah, if there are, I'm gonna have a lot of zeros. No, I actually don't have a ton of Cleveland. I'm gonna be under the field, I think, at least on the three main guys up top, which kind of sucks.
I wonder sometimes if these guys like get in the stop-start nature of it all. Like, I wonder if that fucks with the hitters a little bit. Like if or in the pitching too, to be honest. Like if you don't know if you're gonna go and like it seems like you're not gonna go and then you are gonna go. Like, does that mess with your preparation at all?
I didn't play baseball at a high enough level to really answer that.
Well,
but
no,
I mean,
I'm saying like theoretically
yeah,
you,
I
not
mean,
that you know.
No, I mean, how wouldn't it? Right? That's just any sort of uncertainty probably going to make the average person less good at what they're trying to do.
And it seems like that's one sometimes the Vegas, like the lines don't adjust that much despite that, but I don't know. I do feel like usually there's one side of things where it's like, oh, the hitters aren't hitting or the pitchers are just getting shelled. And like that's something. I don't know. There's no data backing this up at all. But I'd be curious to see some about postponed or like potential postponements. But it's something to think about with that Cleveland game as somebody who has a lot of Indians. Is Texas overrated tonight in your opinion for Jason Kelly?
No, I don't think they're overrated. I think they're properly rated. They're going to be decently high owned, and it's a really good spot against Despaigne. In a great park.
I think Despaigne has done an okay job limiting hard contact in his relief appearances, so I don't mind fading them, and I think I actually am fading them. So mostly, but I still don't see anything wrong with going there. For me, that was where I made one of my lines in the sand again tonight. Didn't work well last night, but maybe tonight.
Sure.
Matt Carpenter or Brantley for a FanDuel utility?
It's Brantley. I mean, he's going to be higher owned, obviously, but yeah, it's still Brantley for me.
It's Brantley for me, but it's a little closer. I like Carpenter. I think the matchup too makes sense for him, but yeah, it's also Brantley. Hitters love start stop extra time in the cage. Interesting.
I mean, maybe some hitters, but probably most guys just want to play.
Yeah, I just feel like, if you're like a normal human being and like you had your job and it's like, oh yeah, I don't have to wait around 3 hours to know, or like even I just have to do my job the entire day waiting for this moment where my job kind of crescendos, and it's like, oh yeah, but by the way, that part may not occur.
Yeah,
That's got to affect your preparation a little.
Yeah, and maybe it doesn't. These guys are professionals. A lot of them have dealt with this before, tons of times. So it's all speculation, but still, I can't imagine it's like not at least annoying to most of these guys. So, however you want to quantify that.
And I also think baseball too, they're so chill, like they're hanging out and playing cards in the dugout, or if they're the Red Sox, they're eating fried chicken and drinking beer, and it's like then all of a sudden you got to do work. That's going to throw you for a curveball.
What a good scandal that was.
That was a little too early for Twitter. Like, it wasn't like blown up the way it would have been now, where it would have been a meme every day.
Honestly, could you imagine the memes? I was just gonna say, like, the crazy stuff people would come up with.
Well, I'd probably like baseball more if they had more stuff like that, to be honest.
Yeah. Make it more like wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like the NBA. I mean, the NBA is just basically spicy Twitter like stuff now every day.
The NBA just traffics in all that. They just love it. They just love everything about like Twitter beef and all that. It's so good for their sport.
That's sort of like all everything is. Like people like it even from us. Like when Josh does his shit talk, like that always gets our best interaction too. It's like that is sort of what the internet is these little like castles of content, people just being mean to each other or talking shit to each other or whatever, and then people being like, oh, that's funny, I like that, and then being mean and giving shit to people. It's a fun way the internet content business works. Let's see. Hey guys, I got a chance to say thank you when I watch the replay at work. Watch the video every day at lunch. Thanks. Hey, thanks Gregory for watching our videos. Make sure to like the videos and subscribe to the channel so you're seeing all the stuff we're doing. Obviously got a lot of MLB stuff. Got the Night Shift podcast previewing the MLB slates earlier than anybody in the business. Got the Josh and Jake videos in the morning doing strategy for MLB. Gonna have NFL strategy. Gonna have NBA strategy. It's gonna be so much strategy you won't even be able to fucking keep it straight. It's gonna be so strategized. Oh my god.
Yeah, all this strategy. It's good stuff.
The word strategy loses all meaning when you say it 10 times in one sentence. Do you guys weigh pitcher, skill, or matchup heavier? Aren't those the same thing?
Well, let's see. Pitcher, skill, or matchup?
I think he means for the pitcher, for like the pitcher going against guys, I would think.
I mean, I don't know. I want to play guys that I think are good, so I guess I weigh the pitcher's skill most. What were the other ones?
Matchup, or like the matchup. I mean, to me, like when you're playing like Jacob Junis, I mean, Junis has been a little better lately, so maybe not the best example. Like you're playing him versus the White Sox, I think. So I have no problem with that sometimes. Yeah. I think shitty pitchers versus shitty lineups, I think, are generally a positive tournament play. But there's sort of a threshold to the shittiness you can go with, like, you know, I mean, or on either side. Like the Diamondbacks yesterday weren't that shitty, but they were going against Knicks, who was very shitty last night, and that ended up the less shitty team goes. It's like battling Pokemon. The team who has more XP is going to do better. So I don't know. It's all relative degrees of shittiness.
Harper and
Noah
Lindor.
Rosen asking about weather one more time. What's our final weather updates, Jake?
I'm playing Washington. Yeah, I'm playing the Nationals. It's gonna lock in whatever, 10 minutes, 7 minutes, but that's what I'm sticking to. I'm just finishing out my last crunch right now. So, good old Brian Johnson, my highest exposed pitcher. It's gonna be fun.
I do like that play. You know, he got blown up in his last little relief start, but he was good as a starter. I have no issue with that. Lauren Johnson, football or MLB, which better chance to win on DFS? Probably MLB, as long as you're doing the research and you have good data. Football's a little more high variance, but people do seem to win more randomly at football, so depends on your skill and the level of time you invest.
I think football is less variance, right? MLB is like the most variance you can have. If you're just talking about like a single slate, I guess.
No, MLB is the most predictable, but it's the most predictable statistically.
In a really big sample, yeah.
So yeah, like night to night, yes. Okay, so night to night MLB would probably be more profitable, but in the short term, NFL would be, because like there's variance, but like it's not the same as baseball, where like it'll sort of even out over time. Like a 250 hitter will eventually become a 250 hitter.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, NFL. I mean, if you remember all those FanDuel and DraftKings commercials, you remember all those people who were like, "Oh yeah, I won $1 million." And that actually did happen. I'll never forget the story about the one guy who won like a Millionaire Maker, playing only players who were from Pittsburgh or players who went to college in Pittsburgh, and then that guy won a fucking $1 million because he played only people who played for the Steelers or went to college in Pittsburgh. So it's not happening.
He probably lost all that because he thought he was invincible after, or maybe he was smart. Who knows?
Might have just never played again. He was just like, I'm done. I'm out of it. Gambled it all away instead. Thanks, guys. I rank every pitcher based on stats and every matchup on the slate, and wanted to know what you feel is more predictive. Yeah, it's a tough question. I don't know. Like,
I don't really.
Do you think a shitty pitcher or a shitty lineup is more predictive?
I think it's easier to predict pitchers. but that's just me.
Predict them being bad or predict them being good?
Both. Just pitcher performance. Pitcher touches the ball every single time. It's like, that's how I look at it. So, like, they have the most control over the game.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Like quarterback type of thing.
I think the approach makes sense, BDG. Any Ohtani love? Every night I have Ohtani love, that he's out there. So, yes, I love Ohtani.
Yeah, I love Ohtani, too. He's one of the best plays on the slate. I think any place you go to will say that.
I thought so yesterday, too, and he was very popular. So, I mean, that probably makes it even better to go back to him tonight because I think people will probably own him a little less after he burned him. I mean, he only had 7 points, I think, or something last night. Max and Shields or Carrasco and Ray? Which weather risk and combo is better?
Max and Shields. I don't know. It's really chalky no matter how you look at it. But yeah. Max and Shields.
I would probably go Carrasco and Ray because I'm not super worried about Cleveland. But yeah, any games being postponed. The Chicago Pittsburgh game has been delayed slightly, but postponement, I don't know. We'll find out in a few hours, hopefully, or less than that.
Yeah.
Ohtani or Gallo on DK? They're the same price. Ohtani for me.
Yeah, it's Ohtani.
It's the better hitter.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, get your last minute questions in. If you have either ors, drop them now. We got 4 minutes to lock. Why is Billy Hamilton hitting leadoff? He's fast and doesn't have any power.
Yeah. Young pitcher on the mound, or I guess new pitcher on the mound. I don't know how Kelly is at holding runners, but Hamilton, is he stealing a ton this year?
You know, I don't track stolen bases. That's one thing I don't actually keep an eye on. But yeah. He's had a couple good days that I've seen base off steals. So
30 stolen bases this year. Yeah, he can steal.
Did you guys go over dongs? Robert Park, we give the home run pick every day at 6:30 Eastern time, but we did go over them. Michael Brantley was Josh's pick earlier in the day. I'm going Jose Ramirez, and Jake is going Nolan Arenado. The home run picks.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Best cheap catcher, Rene Rivera for me.
Cheap catcher? Here, let me check. I like Josh's boy Matt Wieters. Drew Butera against Shields is super low priced.
Let's see. Do you guys have any Charlie Morton? Do you have any Charlie Morton tonight?
If I do, it's very little. No, I don't have any Charlie Morton.
Yeah, I think I might have one lineup with him, but no, not very much for me either. I get the logic with him, but I don't think he has the upside of Carrasco and Scherzer, and I don't think he's as good of a price as Ray or even going up to Bueller. Let's see. It seems like Johnson has a great chance for the win on DK. Yeah, Red Sox are winning a lot of games.
Hope so.
Johnson or Shields or Junis? Which would you go with?
Johnson, Junis, Shields in that order.
I would go. I would go Junis, Johnson, Shields, I think, but it's very close for me between Junis and Johnson. How's Edwin Jackson for a GPP? Not good.
I don't like him against Houston. Still not enough strikeouts there.
Yeah, not a 14-game slate guy that you would make that choice on, I don't think. Mookie, JD, or Jose Ramirez, which two would you choose first? For me, that is one I actually have, JD and Jose.
Me too.
Narvaez, cheap catcher. I like that pick. Brandon Parker saying Nats game postponed. Is that true?
I don't.
That seems like a troll move to be doing that 1 minute before lock.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
Brandon Parker, boo! That's not accurate, buddy. You're getting a timeout anyway. If you're right, you get untimed out. But don't be a dick. Hopefully he's not giving like a great source right now because he's in timeout.
Can't see what you're saying, Brandon Parker, but got a no trolling lineup things here. And we're locked. 7:05 Eastern time. There we go. I guess we could do this. Calhoun or Gallo or Otani and Abreu on DK. Calhoun and Gallo for me.
Calhoun and Gallo. Yeah.
Yeah, just no White Sox for me. All right. Any parting words, Jake, before we call it a week?
Come join us next week. Come join us Monday. Josh and I will be holding down the fort. Count your winnings. Count your winnings tonight. I will have the spotlight hitters, pitchers, and stacks out by tomorrow morning. And the night shift is already out, or it'll drop at 7. It's already recorded, but yeah, should be a fun slate as long as the Nats don't get postponed.
There we go. And next week I'll be out. You'll have Josh and Jake every day. A couple solo shows mixed in. They'll be doing stuff, but I'm going to be hiding away from the world of DFS, not acknowledging at all. Make sure, though, to get in on the NFL deal now while we still have it. NFL 820 will save you $20 on our NFL package for the entire season. You'll be getting all of Awesomo's rankings, ownership projections, and articles. Who knows what other premium content we'll have. Also review all of the stuff that Josh and I did, the NFL previews. We had 6 chapters of stuff breaking down every position, every offseason move. So go get in on that now before your fantasy draft, before DFS really gets going. And I think that's all I have. So I'll see you guys soon, and Josh and Jake will be back even sooner. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll miss you.